Hello. So, I am redoing my live video because apparently, and unfortunately, my good phone is, and the reason why I have two phones is crapping out in a different way. First it was the port, and now it's the sound and speakers or whatever, and that sucks because I really like that phone, and it is newer than the one that I'm using, and I thought maybe it was just me and I was being crazy, and apparently it has got a lot of miles on it or something, even though it is newer. So that is something I gotta fix here in the next month or two, is a good up-to-date phone that I like, that's got all the working things on it that it should be, sound and speakers and everything. It has good battery life, and so that's not refurbished, because often enough when you get a refurbished phone, it's got not the best battery life on it. So I am doing a test video on this phone. I wonder if I'm like holding my finger over the speaker. Sometimes I wonder about that, but probably not. It's probably not what's going on. It probably is just the mechanics of the phone. Yeah, so it is Saturday, and I have been running errands and organizing myself. I talked in my previous video about networking, and Valentine's Day coming up. It makes me think about networking and stuff. So, in my face, the swelling in my face went down a whole lot. It was like really, it's a lot different. You can tell if you watched any of my videos from last week, and are watching this. Sometimes you can see it in my pictures. I tend to like hold my face at an angle when my face is really swollen, so you can't see. But there is a big difference. Today might be a good day to take some angle pictures, so I can take pictures of. I'm trying to get pictures of this, like multiple of it, of like, so I could show my daughter and stuff and be like, I don't know what's going on. Also keeping a schedule of when it happens and stuff, so I can figure out exactly what is doing it. Timelines and stuff like that. Yeah. I yeah, just thought I'd check this out and recalibrate a couple moments in that video. And working on creative pursuits today and the last couple days, very, 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 very slowly, because not having full use of everything when I'm not feeling well, but it also like changes my the way I think about stuff a whole lot, and that can sometimes be invaluable. So it is something that is not taken for granted, let's put it that way. It's not something that I like, but it's also not something I take for granted when it happens. And that is the way that I look at it. Let's see. I am a little low on the output today. at the moment, kind of needing input. So you don't get much input disassociating, and sometimes I just like dissociate. So it's not something I can help unless somebody is like literally like and that happens when I'm faced with like big changes and stuff. Luckily, the disassociating is not like a neurological event like it was last fall and in the summer and stuff, and I was having meltdowns. Like, it's a neurological event because I was unable to move with it. And now that I can follow along with what's happening, what I'm doing, like, the disassociation comes as a coping mechanism, so I don't have meltdowns, and it's not anything that's in my control. And that's part of the coprolalia thing and the Tourette's and stuff. And it's really cool that I can say that out loud and put that into words and stuff, and I really didn't realize. It's really amazing to see it like firsthand, and also have the words to describe it and talk about it while it's affecting me, you know. And this is way before you ever like emotionally deal with anything. Like, I haven't even got that far about it. You know, I didn't have the words, you know, for what it was or anything. You know, no one's ever been like, hey, you know, haha, you have Tourette's, or do you think you have Tourette's? Like, nobody, like, you know, oh yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about in my video that I had to redo a little bit ago and now because of the sound and stuff, was that in thinking about networking and Valentine's Day coming up, like, one of the things that I've always had to deal with is, and it does, you know, like, kind of set with me because I've always been kind of a lonely person in a way. That's just my nature. And, is that I found myself in my early 20s working in the field where there was, a little bit of, like, a disconnect between like the socialness in my work field. You know, it's not even like working from home where you work in an office that you talk to like literally. You know, it's just me, and I didn't realize that that's kind of like what I was doing because it was just kind of like what I was doing already, what I was good at and stuff. And so, working in the social field and how lonely it can be, you know, when you're like disconnected from other people that are on your same level, for a long period of time, you know, but, also, you know, there's a disconnect in like people because of working in the social field is like, you know, coworkers and people around, you know, taking the time to be like, hey, you know, like, and asking personal questions and getting to know me. Like, you know, I realize like a lot of my friends, not even friends, but people I know, it's, you know, because of the field that I am in, you know, really don't take very much time to be like, not a lot of people, but I have encountered that the percentages and stuff in the past 20 years are not very high on my end of self-care. Like, people really don't, you know, aren't like, hey, what do you do for fun and stuff like that. So, or like, what do you like to do, you know, like, you know, why do you do this, you know, stuff like that. I've always been like that kind of person, and so I haven't always taken very good care of myself in that aspect where, and remembered that, you know, I needed to take the time to stop and surround myself, you know, and have people around me and stuff that care about me. and like me and, you know me and stuff, or like, in general, know people like, you know, that had interest in me and stuff. And so, a lot of times that comes from like my hyper focusing on stuff, good or negative, but really, work and stuff, like just hyper focusing too much on it, and not taking time to like, make sure that very fundamental part of my social care is there. And, it is something that I am working on, being more accessible to the people around me, because I feel like that is first and foremost, like the most important, is to like, make sure I'm accessible to the people that are already around me, and then, to cultivate that into like be a more open and friendly and easy to be around. I lost a good bit of that. I've always had a lot of problems with that. Like, I think people are always really calm around me and stuff. I'm easy to chill with, but like if you have any kind of like, I'm not a person that's like, oh, ask me how my day was kind of thing. Like, normally people are like, are you okay? So, I always look like I'm going through something, always look haggard. Maybe not literally, but, people, like, it's not always been like that in my life, but I noticed that started happening, around the time that my dad died and onward, where, people weren't as responsive to me and stuff socially. And actually it's a big difference, and it's been that way since. And I know that's directly has to do with like, my body language and facial expressions, and just like my what I put out there versus like, what other people are doing or thinking or anything like that. I think that like I said, it's a combination of both things, like the field that I work in, and then also like I said, when my dad passed away, and like my own mental health and concentration skills and stuff suffered a bit after that, and my workload changed, and it took me a long time to figure out exactly what was going on, and like how to fix all that in the most empathetic way possible with what I was going through and stuff. But yeah, I think that's a good realization to have, and it's important, I think, to keep that in my working mind, especially when things start not working so smoothly and I feel secluded. So it can be a little distracting though, because like there is such a heavy break in a lot of different aspects of my life, and like my functioning levels and stuff like that, when my dad passed. And I, when you're on that side of it kind of thing, it's not something you can just like magic out of air. So I had to first let the pieces fall and to see what they were before even, to see what I was working with before I was even able to like try to piece something together to like, get back to a point where, okay, this is what I'm missing, like with socializing and how I come across and stuff like that. So, mindfulness is really great. So I constantly have to work on mindfulness in different aspects, but also really like because of the Tourette symptoms and stuff, the mindfulness thing is like is an all-round thing because there's some aspects of it that I are outside of that, but they are literally, disassociation, and, that's a neurological event. So, the mindfulness, I have to really hold on and work slowly with that over months, and that'll go great, with my antidepressant and stuff, so, but, yeah, I hope everybody has a really great Saturday, and I hope everybody is being productive or resting or something. Have a good day.